This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. One of the things that I think has been exciting about this idea of profiling, capturing amps, and all that sort of stuff is that it actually gives us access to amps that we might not be able to afford in real life. However, I think there's this kind of more specialized thing that I'm quite interested in, and IK Multimedia, who have sponsored this video, that's why I'm making it, but this is genuinely something that I've found kind of interesting. And when I first looked at the ToneX, what was interesting to me was that they'd bought a Dumble amplifier off of Joe Bonamassa and then captured it and made it possible that folks all around the world could play through tones that were generated with, you know, Joe Bonamassa's actual amplifier in what I think was a pretty interesting thing. I'd like to see more of this sort of thing, and that's why, in particular, I like to talk about these things when they've happened. They again did a Dumble collection, and now they've done a Mesa Boogie collection. Now, this is 5 amps from Mesa Boogie that sit at Mesa Boogie HQ, and they're used as reference amplifiers, and they're selected for being like the best sounding of their specific type of amps that they are. We have a Mesa Boogie 2C Plus, which is obviously one of the most famous Mark type amplifiers. There's a Mesa Boogie Mark IV, which is like a bit of a more modern take on the Mark series. There is a dual rectifier and a triple rectifier, and as I say, those are the 4 kind of reference amps that Mesa Boogie internally, and Doug West, who's helped put this collection together, kind of reference, and they tweak these amplifiers, and this is what Mesa Boogie internally kind of have as the holy grail of what their models can do. There's also the Carlos Santana King Snake, which is included in here as well, which is a recreation of his Budokan Mesa Boogie Mark I, which is of course where it all started, and of course Santana and Mesa Boogie kind of go together like that. So yeah, let's dig into the tones. I think the price of it is $99. Obviously this is designed to work with ToneX, so you could load it into the ToneX pedal or into the ToneX software. I'm going to be showing you on screen with the ToneX software, but more of this please, IK Multimedia, because I think it's a really cool idea. Now Joe Bonamassa's amp, some Dumble amplifiers that none of us would have access to, and now some kind of amps that are special to the guys at Mesa Boogie that now we can play some tones captured through there in a professional manner. So here's my first time kind of pulling this stuff up. As I will have already told you, there's 5 amps here. We've got a Mark II C+, we've got a Mark IV, we've got a dual rectifier, we've got a triple rectifier, and we got the King Snake, which is the Mark I kind of reissue, right? Super valuable. And yeah, as we've seen from the kind of blurb leading up to this, these are kind of amps that Mesa Boogie keeps specifically because they're good as reference amps, i.e. they are outstanding examples of production amplifiers in the opinion of Doug West, who you will have seen if you've watched a Mesa Boogie advert in the last kind of 20 years or so. Definitely a face that's familiar to me from seeing kind of John Petrucci videos. Budokan lead is actually here referring though to Santana. And let's see, so we got new skins for this. Let's chuck on a little bit of reverb here, a bit of plate. I really love the sound of the plate reverb. Let's just find another here. Let's start it up. But basically some really nice options for some cleaner stuff there with the King Snake, but I think you're going to find it also does not sure how much input we should be aiming for here. Obviously does change the response. And we've also got all of those without the cab, if you just want to try that with a different cab. So we've got all of those captures essentially without a cab, which is cool. Right, moving on time-wise, let's try some Mark II C Plus stuff. Okay, again, like you'll see, there's a pretty nice kind of skin to this. I guess we could sort by 2C. That's beautiful. You could probably hit that a bit harder with a tube screamer or something. Nice. Focused leader. Let's try just cranking the gain on this. Smoother clean. To reset this now, right? So double click on the ones that I've changed. That's beautiful. beautiful. Right, let's move on to the Mark IV. I think this is a early 90s Mark IV. What we got here, we got Crunchy Zone. Lamb of God are one of the bands that I know used to use Mark IV. Right, this is Dirty. So that's really cool. Then we get into kind of the other side of the Mesa Boogie, which is kind of the, dual rectifier, triple rectifier stuff. Let's start with the triple rectifier. This for me reminds me of kind of the new metal. Not necessarily the easiest amps to dial in, so it's kind of nice to have these options which are basically ready to play. Try Chuggity Chug. Don't forget we've got a noise gate here as well. Let's turn it on. Very cool. Power plant. where's the jewel? Here, right, we've got jewel up at the top. Sunny rhythm, it's got to be. So a bunch of tones from sort of clean to mean, and this is exactly the sort of thing I hoped folks like Kemper, folks like ToneX, folks like Neural DSP would do, where it's like getting hold of amps like Joe Bonamassa's stuff, like these amps from Mesa Boogie that, you know, normal folks don't have access to, you know, making it a reason to jump on board. So if you're into these classic Mesa Boogie tones, I think that's a really great start. And yeah, easy to, you know, get tones that for me sound like they're pretty much mixed, ready to go. And that's what I was using in the introduction. And yeah, those are out now. I think $99 is the price. But yeah, hopefully with support of customers, this is the sort of thing that ToneX can do more of, and, you know, continue to show that they're doing something a little bit different to some of the other players. As I say, I was really excited when I found that they'd done the capturing of Joe Bonamassa's amps. What I'm looking for in the future is maybe a company like Kemper, ToneX, someone like this can get in front of an artist who is recording an album and literally do these kind of captures as an album recording is happening. And you could say, okay, I'm Eric Johnson. I've just recorded my new album, and here I've got my collection of tones that were created in the studio, you know, with a ToneX, and here you go. You can play through these same tones. I think maybe that's kind of a pipe dream, but I think it's a pretty cool idea. And again, this is getting close to that sort of situation where it's these amps that are kind of, you know, stuck in a studio with Doug West, and, you know, they've taken a lot of time and effort to clearly get some great tones, and yeah, of some amps that you and I cannot ordinarily get our hands on. I think it's a really cool idea. I'll catch you in another video soon, and thank you to IK Multimedia for sponsoring this video. Mesa Boogie, it's been a favourite brand of mine since I was a kid, so it's really cool to see this stuff.